Hi everyone. The reason I don't YouTube is that much is there's two reasons basically. One, I don't like my face, and two, I'm shy and I have social anxiety and it makes me really nervous to be on camera. But beside that, I have been encouraged by the responses and the number of views that I've gotten to some previous videos that I've uploaded, so I think that maybe I'll make YouTube more of a regular part of my life. Maybe just once a week. Another problem I've had with not wanting to YouTube before is I don't really have a brand per se, and I think that if you want to be serious about YouTube, you have to have like an image, a trademark that you're trying to go for, and you're trying to create this persona, and I don't really have one I can think of to make, and I just want to be myself. I just saw Lindsay Ellis's video about YouTube and authenticity, and I think that if I just be authentic, I think people will respond to that. I can be successful by just being myself, and I don't need like a camera crew and makeup artists and producers telling me what to say and shit. I just, talk about things that I like, talk about things that are relevant to my life, Right now, what's going on with anime, because I want to mostly focus on anime, so the focus isn't on me and how awkward I am. And Japanese culture, stuff like that, other pop culture things, nerdy stuff, like Marvel comics and Star Trek and things like that I'll talk about too, probably. But right now, what's going on with anime right now? That seems like a good theme. Maybe I could do a series like every week or every 2 weeks or so. I talk about what's going on in anime right now. I'm watching 3 series mainly right now. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Magical Girl Sight, and Violet Evergarden. And they all represent things in anime that, that's a thing that's happening. And I'll talk about Magical Girl Sight first, because it's probably the worst anime that's out right now. I got into it thinking it was going to be really good. I kind of enjoy horror and trashy, kind of gory anime. I don't really shy away from stuff that's graphic or what other people might call exploitative, or, just really violence. I don't mind that, but the storytelling really sucks in Magical Girl Sight. And I think that, I talked about this on my blog, I think the problem is a lack of subtlety, and they didn't have subtle facial expressions. The characters, whenever they wanted to say something or do something emotionally, it was always over the top. And I've kind of quit watching it because I got sick of and sort of disgusted by seeing those over-the-top emotional reactions to everything. No one ever just gets mad. They get so angry they want to take out the other person, murderously enraged over little things. Everyone in that show has a sad backstory, and after a while you get tired of hearing sad backstories. It's so stupid. So it's not really a very satisfying anime for me, even though it is the kind of thing I'm looking for. I want something like that, but with a little bit more nuance, a little more subtlety, a little more building up to things. And I also think that if every character feels like they're trying to compete to have the sadder backstory, then it just makes me not care about any individual character or their particulars of their story, because I just don't care that much. It's what I would call, TV tropes calls darkness-induced audience apathy. And I think that trope is really apt for talking about Magical Girl Sight. Now, on the other end of the spectrum of good to bad anime, right now I really like Violet Evergarden. I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers. I'm going to be discussing it with my anime meetup group on Saturday, And I think that'll be fun because I really like this one. I mean, not just the animation quality is really beautiful, but what you have from it is an authentic and human feeling, emotional experiences. Violet, the main character, is sort of a robot or something, and she's trying to figure out human emotions, and she's also dealing with people who are also dealing with the aftermath of this really devastating war. It's some kind of fantasy kingdom, but it's sort of like mid 20th century levels of technology. So she uses a typewriter to transcribe people's love letters and stuff, and she's trying to figure out what love actually means. And I think that's a really interesting topic for an anime to try to cover. And I have trouble understanding feelings too sometimes, so I just can relate really well to Violet. So, yeah. I mean, would it appeal to someone who's, like, less autism-y than me? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's a really universal human concept to want to understand love and want to understand better, like, how to express love and feelings in words in a way that will communicate them accurately to someone else. And Violet is very soldier-like in her approach to things, and so that clashes with the way that we kind of traditionally think about love and romantic things. So she has a hard time figuring out romance because she's used to very simple and direct forms of communication. She's used to commands like go here, do this, and it's really showing that the way we communicate about our feelings is different from that style of communication. And I think that's a really neat topic for the anime to explore. I haven't seen the end of it yet, but I'm going to pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that ending. I watched and then there's How to Summon a Demon Lord, and I really only watched the first episode of that because an anime YouTuber I follow, I think it was either Gigook or Gygook or Mother's Basement, I can't remember which one, but they recommended it as an example of what good ecchi anime should do, and I like the occasional ecchi anime. I'm not that into it, but I'll watch one every once in a while. And I liked Shimonetta in Prison School. I liked Shimonetta because of the style of humor, even though the characters were sort of bland. And I thought the opposite in Prison School. Like, I thought the characters really stood out with their interesting personalities. And I liked Mako, and I liked the student council president lady. So I like that show for the plot. Yeah. Okay. But, so, Bulbasaur, do you have anything to say? No, he's really just more the strong, silent type, so. I've only seen one episode of How to Summon a Demon Lord, and at the time, I gotta admit, I wasn't looking forward to it, because I'm kind of like, I'm so tired of these isekai harem trash shows where it's all about male wish fulfillment and shit. And this one is too. It doesn't even try to play, but I'm also watching some of the next season of Attack on Titan, but I don't really like it that much because it's got the same problem I had, the third season of Attack on Titan. Yeah, it's got the same flaws as the previous season, which is that instead of explaining and adequately wrapping up all the shit from the first season, in the second season they just added a bunch of new shit. And this one is also ignoring everything that was built up in seasons 1 and 2 in layers and adding a third layer of shit. So it's sort of like this shit cake with 3 tiers, and you're never gonna figure out, like, they're never gonna really reveal or wrap up or end what happened in season 1, so they just keep adding new complications to their plot. Like, is it ever gonna end? Are we ever gonna get a real resolution? They just keep having things happening, and then more things happen, and then more things happen. It's sort of like not a great way to write a story, because there's that storytelling idea that Matt and Trey Parker talked about, where they said you should have your plot lined out in sentences that can be connected not by and then, or and then, like this happens and then this happens and then this happens. It should be but, or because of that. You know, there should be like a causal relationship between the events of your story, I feel like. Or what happens next should serve as something that adds complication and adds meaning and adds depth to what happened before it. Like, someone finds a magical ring, but wait, that ring is evil, but they can't destroy it just by any other means, so they have to go on this quest, and to destroy it, but the ring's evil is gonna tempt them. And so you have this like simple plot structure, but everything is related to itself. Everything that happens in the plot is related causally or as a complication, adding a layer to something that happened before it. And with Attack on Titan, I don't really feel like that's happening. They've got these characters stuck doing stuff, and I guess it's like post-apocalyptic, gigantic zombie slice of life. I don't really know what's going on with Attack on Titan, to be honest. I have not seen all of the season 3, but that's because I kind of got bored and lost interest after a few episodes of season 3, so I think the manga might make more sense, or maybe they're just rushing to get episodes out very quickly. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, that's what's up with anime right now, the week of September 12th, 2018. If you like this, please let me and Bulbasaur know. I know Bulbasaur appreciates constructive feedback, and thank you for watching. See you later.